Our story begins with a lady desperately screaming for help. She is stuck in a coffin somewhere. The scene changes to show it's October 1957. The lady we saw rides in a car with a priest, Father Andrew. She is Mary, who gets a flashback of sitting somewhere and having a nun come to her. She says they take care of women like Mary. Then the duo arrives at a convent. When they exit the car, Andrew says that this is as far as he can take her. Our protagonist starts walking alone. Soon she arrives at a building. A nun opens the door, a long scar across her face. Mary tells her she was given this address. After letting her inside, the nun introduces herself as Paula. She takes Mary's suitcase from her, telling her that all who come to this place must leave their former life behind. She starts taking Mary around the convent, telling her how things are done. Mother Superior's approval is all she should concern herself with, Paula says. Soon enough, Mother appears to talk to Mary alone. She informs her the place is locked up well, because they had a break-in recently. After that, Mother sits next to a young lady named Doris, who is 7 months pregnant. The lady is in pain, praying for it to end. However, Mother says her pain brings her closer to God. She makes Doris kneel, even though it pains her to do so. While she does, Mary holds her own stomach to indicate she is pregnant too. Afterward, Mother wants Mary to know that her methods are strict but fair. She takes their newcomer to her room, telling her to sleep because being refreshed is important for a mother to be. In her room, Mary encounters another woman who quickly tells Mary she should not want them to hear her. They sometimes get listened in on by the authorities, who do not allow talking in the dorms. That is how they got a girl named Veronica. After saying that, the woman introduces herself as Catherine. She tells Mary she can talk to her whenever she likes. She should just avoid getting caught. Following this, the scene drastically changes from quiet to loud as we get thrown into a bar. Mary sits there, playing cards with a man. Another man gets excited to see her there. He is Jimmy, who has a goofy personality. Since he knows Mary, he joins them in their game. Mary attempts to swindle him out of his money by secretly passing an ace card under the table to the man she's playing with. Jimmy manages to spot this trick, which prompts him to ask them if they think he's a fool. Scared, Mary is forced to hand her money to him. Jimmy makes the other man give him his money too. Once he does, Jimmy makes sure the man leaves. After he does, we learn that Mary doesn't just know Jimmy, they work together as a scamming team. What they just performed was a trick to take the unlucky man's money. Jimmy is satisfied with the money they got, yet he's very unsatisfied with the bruise on Mary's face. He wants to destroy her father for doing it. She says he shouldn't say that, though he thinks otherwise. After that interesting change of scenery, Mary wakes up at the convent. She hears crying behind the door. Stern talking is heard as well. Her curiosity makes Mary place her ear against the door. She then looks under the door, which has an unusually big opening. To her surprise, a girl falls on the floor next to her. We see her for less than a second, but it was enough to see her knitted mouth. This scares Mary, who quickly lies on her bed to pretend she's sleeping. Paula comes to her, telling Mary she isn't special there. Paula also says Mother wants to see her. The next scene has Mary coming to meet her. Father Andrew sits there too. Mother informs Mary that her son is a senator, who doesn't know his mom exists. This is because he was given to another family. She also tells Mary that she is going to be on a strict regimen of vitamins plus supplements. Soon, Mother asks her if she came of her own volition. Mary replies that she came to receive help bringing her baby into the world. At that moment, Mother informs her that the money they get comes from people who think the women at the convent don't know right from wrong, that they are not responsible, and not capable of caring for their child by themselves. Mother adds that Mary could be the blessing they have been waiting for. While she talks, Mary doesn't feel well. Someone turns a switch on a device that has been brought in, which seems to make Mary even dizzier. In about 10 seconds, she collapses. Afterward, we get a scene of Mary talking to her younger brother in bed. She tells him about going on a secret vacation that will get them away from their dad. Supposedly, he is a problem in her life. Then she goes to look out the window. Outside, Jimmy plays the trumpet. He can't go home because he misses her. Shortly after, they engage in intimacy inside. While they do, the boy who is supposed to be sleeping starts climbing the bathtub because he wants to play with a toy sailboat. We are left to guess what happens before Mary wakes up at the convent again. Mother is there to leave a girl named Sarah with her. As she combs Mary's hair, Sarah says she had a boy upon first being there. He lost his life during childbirth. Hearing this makes Mary worried, to say the least. Later, Mary writes a letter to Jimmy. Catherine is there to say Mother will read it. There is also no guarantee Mother will send it. This adds more worry to our heroine. When they eat, Catherine doesn't feel well and wants to get up, but the nun says she's not excused. This leaves Catherine no choice except to vomit at the table. Mother comes to her, asking if she wants to leave. Of course she does. Yet Mother says she must finish her supper first. To make her situation worse, supper is what she just vomited up. They don't waste food there, Mother says. So Catherine sits down to eat what just came out of her. The others don't want to watch such a disgusting event. This shows us the kind of great help they are all receiving there. At night, Mary stands up in her dorm because she hears sounds coming from the ceiling. Blood drips on her hand, which she wipes on her dress. She stands on her footlocker to light a match near the ceiling. That scarily reveals a girl's face through the crack. It makes Mary scream, prompting Mother to enter the room to ask what is going on. One of the girls says Mary saw something. Responding to that, Mary says she's not crazy, but Mother disagrees, saying Mary sees her lifeless brother. She adds that she murdered her little brother in the bathtub. At this point, Mary has had enough, wanting to leave the convent. It's her choice to go, Mother says, although it would be better to leave after being restored by sleep. All the girls are given pills. Mary, however, plays the rebel by spitting her pill out. We then see her past life again. While she's in bed with Jimmy, her father returns home. The man sits drunk in his car. Mary hears it, making her go calling out to her brother. To her terror, she finds him in the bathtub, which is full of blood. 1 moment later, her dad enters the room to witness it. He screams at her. Back to the present, all the girls lie soundly asleep in bed. Soon the door opens to show us a man with a completely white head standing there. He steps inside, and Mary sits up. We would think she would see him, yet he has vanished. As Mary calls out to some of the girls, they don't wake up. The pills they took hold them down well. The one that does get up beside her is the man with the white head. Mary doesn't have time to process the situation because he applies anesthesia to her. She wakes up in a more intimidating room to get placed inside a coffin. Mother is there to tell her that Mary will disappear tonight so that someone else can be reborn. But the sins of her past will continue to haunt her until she submits to the convent. Mother renames Mary to Agatha. Following this, the helpless lady's coffin gets covered. We don't know how long she stayed in there, though upon opening the coffin, Mary gets asked to say who she is. The nuns also try feeding her. Mary does not cooperate, which makes them close her up again. We see this process repeat several times. Eventually, one of the nuns chews some food to spit it into Mary's mouth. If she won't eat the normal way, that is what they resort to doing. The next scene has her vomiting. Yet it's not at the convent, it's in the washroom of her past. At a hospital, she receives the news that she is pregnant. This makes her tell her father she's leaving him. She doesn't want her baby around the man. Afterward, she is with Jimmy somewhere else. At that moment, bad luck strikes when the man the duo tricked out of his money finds them somehow. He comes at them, full of anger. He strikes Jimmy down and pulls out a gun. Scared for his life, Mary gives him back his money, but the man takes their entire box instead. His way of saying farewell is by slamming Jimmy down some more. Back at the convent, we see Mary lying in the coffin, getting disturbing images of her lifeless brother. Then the coffin gets opened again. Once she gets asked who she is, Mary finally complies by saying it's Agatha. With that, she is now allowed to leave the coffin. In the dorm, Catherine returns with gashes on her back for Mary to see. Asked about them, Catherine says it was her husband who caused the gashes. He lost his life in a car crash, while she survived. Her baby is all she has left of him. As Mary sleeps, she experiences a strange dream where the room is filled with a red light. Mother is there to tell her she is sick and unfit to be a mom. The other nuns are there too, all with covered faces, pointing to their left. Mary goes to where they point, to find her lifeless brother behind a door. It gives her grief to be reminded of this. Upon waking up, Catherine tells her the pills could give them nightmares. She also calls her by her new name, Agatha. After that, all the girls stand in a line elsewhere. Doris tells Mary there is no right or wrong there. Mary thinks she's just choosing not to see it, but Doris assures her she does. It breaks her every time. She advises Mary to stay quiet, or else risk severe exploitation. They all get taken one by one downstairs. When it's Mary's turn, she witnesses a creepy gathering of people there. They are the donors, who help sustain the convent. Seeing them, there turns a switch in Mary's mind, making her start running away. She makes it into the woods, where she very unluckily falls into a bear trap. The only fortunate part is that it was her arm that got caught, instead of her head. With that injury, she still manages to get on the road. A car stops for her, with someone coming out to her aid. This happening allows us to see another flashback. Mary arrives outside a soup kitchen with Jimmy. They are there because they have no money. The couple argue about what they're going to do about their situation. Since they don't agree, Mary ends up entering the place alone. We then see the scene again, of the nun telling Mary that they take care of ones like her, while handing her an address card. Exiting that flashback, Mary wakes up in bed next to an elderly couple. They are the ones who stopped for her on the road. The man tells her she's going to get fixed. If there was any hope at this moment, it vanishes the instant Mother enters the room. She says that a doctor is on the way. When the couple leaves, Mother acts rough with Mary despite her bear trap injury. She gets brought into another room, where her injured arm gets soaked in water mixed with salt. It gives her great pain and makes her arm look grotesque at the place of injury. The next scene has Jimmy calling someone he cannot seem to reach. We can guess that it's Mary. It prompts him to call another number, requesting that they give him the address to the phone number he's not having any luck reaching. Subsequently, Mary sits somewhere with the girls. Soon, Mother comes to join them, saying Mary is becoming fast friends with Catherine. It doesn't take long for this neutral attitude to turn violent, Mother pulling Mary's hair to hold her head back. She wants our heroine to understand that she embarrassed her in front of the donors. She also reminds her the convent runs on their donations. Her behavior as a nun turns even stranger when she swears at Mary. She gets the young lady to comply with such intimidation. As she lets go of her, Mother holds some of her hair in her hand. Later, Mother brings Mary to the entrance because there is someone there for her. She wants her to make sure that he leaves. The seriousness of these nuns is displayed once more, with one of them wielding a shotgun. Of course, it is Jimmy who came to see her. Coming out to him, she has to lie that she doesn't want to see him anymore. This confuses the man, but she tells him if he loves her, he will go. He tells her that the people of the convent have gotten into her head. She even says her name is Agatha when he calls her by her name. The only way he will go is if she comes with him. He shows Mary he loves her. In an effort to make him leave, she says it's not his child. Shortly after, she returns to the building, crying. Following this, we see the girls at another meeting with the donors. Mary talks to the elderly couple, who happen to be donors too. She is well behaved now, not making a scene. Then the girls start talking in the dorm. Paula listens behind the door. Sarah thinks they lied to her about her baby. Hearing those words is enough to make Paula leave. Sarah continues by saying she gave birth and heard her son cry. They took him out of the room. The next morning, they told her he lost his life. There is a problem with that, though, because she knows she heard him crying again. Since there were no other babies there, Sarah knows it was her son. Mary holds her as the poor girl cries. At that point, Mother enters the room to take Sarah away. Elsewhere, she brings Sarah her suitcase because she wants her to leave. Yet she doesn't want to, saying she has nowhere to go. The prospect of leaving makes her cry. She says she is loyal to Mother, who does not believe her. Soon, Mother comes up with an idea of how Sarah could stay there. That is when Mary gets brought into the room. Mother takes out some scissors, which she places before the vulnerable Sarah. Afterward, she comes to Mary, telling her there is a reason for everything she does there. In a short time, Sarah uses those scissors. It causes quite a scene, with Mary and Mother coming to her. Instead of tending to the poor girl, Mother uses those scissors to remove the rest. The amount Sarah removed was not to her liking. The next scene has the three girls fretting in their dorm due to what Mary told them. As they all eat together, Sarah struggles to do it with her missing tongue. Her being there in her new state causes the other girls to feel immensely unsettled. After that, Mary is alone with Catherine somewhere. They briefly talk about running away. Mary encourages her friend to keep looking for weak spots in the convent to help them with their plan. At night, we learn that Doris went into labor. Where exactly she was taken, we do not know. This knowledge only strengthens the duo's desire to escape. Shortly after, they concoct a quick plan by having Mary act like she's in pain. It makes Paula enter the room. While she talks to our heroine, Catherine knocks Paula out with a stick. The pregnant ladies exit their room and run downstairs to open the main door. However, it's not freedom that greets them, it's Mother who slams Mary down. In her unconscious state, she has a dream of waking up in her bed outside her house. Her brother calls her inside, so she listens to him. She enters a dark area, where only a sailboat is visible. Mother's voice is heard echoing as Mary approaches the bloody bathtub. Looking inside, it shows it's empty. But soon her brother appears to tell her she murdered him, asking her why. When that nightmare ends, Mary wakes up in an attic. Inside, she finds a cover, which she removes to reveal a lifeless Jimmy. Of course, she screams in agony. It makes her break through the locked room to then go downstairs where all the nuns reside. In a state of panic, she confronts Mother about having taken Jimmy's life. According to Mother, though, the man left. She shows Mary a paper with her signature on it. She also accuses Mary of having delusions, hallucinations, plus several other conditions. One of the most doomed aspects of Mary's situation is that Mother made her sign a paper that says she is not able to make her own legal decisions. Mother owns her, in addition to her baby. She even presents a phone to Mary so that she can call anyone she wants. The girl decides to call the police, reporting a murder. This makes Mother laugh. Eventually, a policeman arrives, and Mary informs him of her grisly situation. She takes him to the attic, yet Jimmy is no longer there. She is sure that they moved his body. Later, they all listen to a recording of Mary speaking. On it, she says she doesn't know what is real anymore. While it plays, Mary paces within the room, saying that's not her voice. The recording also says she took her brother's life, which Mary further denies. Soon, another policeman comes in, who Mary recognizes as Father Andrew. He's part of the lie, she screams, but nobody says anything about it, and Mother has shown enough evidence to make them leave. Following this, the nuns take their two remaining girls elsewhere to hold them down. Catherine gets it because she's giving birth, though Mary gets it as a form of restraint for going against them. We see Catherine's baby gets taken away. Its mother is now useless to them, so they suffocate her with a pillow. Mother gives the newborn to the elderly couple. Their daughter will love him, says the wife. With Catherine's demise, Mary is now alone. She gets taken to see Mother outside. The first thing she tells her captor is that Mother will take her life once she receives Mary's baby. All Mother says is that she won't have to. It is there that we learn her church turned its back on her. Due to this, she found a way to make a profit using this convent, which is now nothing except corruption. Walking inside, Mother tells Mary the other nuns have become too greedy. It seems like Mary has agreed to work for Mother, because she asks if she will be paid. After assuring her that she will, Mother shows her a book of people's names who have received the babies the convent immorally gave away. She gives Mary one day to make her decision about everything. As Mary is taken by Paula to her dorm with food, she spots keys in another room. At that moment, she fakes entering into labor. It makes Paula descend downstairs to collect Mother. When they both come to Mary, she says she's okay now. It was just pain she had. So Paula takes her to her dorm, where Mary takes out the keys she saw from her pocket. She took the opportunity to collect them while Paula went downstairs. Now she has some power to change her bad luck, but she has to use it wisely. At night, she uses the keys to exit her dorm. Once she reaches the main door, she hears Mother calling Paula. It forces her to hide in Mother's office room. She looks at the book with the names, and a key falls from it that attracts Paula's attention. However, Mary hides behind the desk. Alone again, she looks inside the book to take a certain paper from it, which interests her for some reason. Following this, she uses the key that fell out to unlock a drawer which holds a respectable amount of cash. Taking it, she decides to go back to her dorm rather than escape immediately. It proves to be quite a tense situation for her, because her foot got injured during the time she was restrained. Mary has to crawl on the stairs and floor while avoiding getting caught, which almost happens. Thankfully, she manages to return the keys to the other room before returning to hers. On the next day, she comes to Sarah to give her the paper she took from the book. Supposedly, it tells Sarah her son is alive, along with the location she can find him. It positively shocks her. Mary is a good person to have done this for her. At another time, one of the nuns enters Mary's dorm. Our heroine tells her to help with Mary's escape while handing a note to the nun. She has devised a plan with the money she stole from Mother. On that paper, it states the amount of money they will all receive for helping her. We learned earlier that they have become greedy, so that's why they don't go against her plan. Later, Mother looks through her drawer. It makes her yell for Paula. Instead of her, 3 other nuns come to attack her. Then they bring her to the room with the coffin. Seeing Mary stand there, Mother tries to intimidate her, saying Mary doesn't know what she's doing to her. It doesn't stop the nuns from placing her in the coffin, though. With all this set into motion, Mary starts running through the woods. Paula, her final concern, sees her do it, which prompts her to run out and try to stop her. Mary doesn't get caught in a bear trap this time, but she does stop to sit because running has become too difficult. Paula approaches the unarmed Mary with a stick in her hand. She's in labor, Mary says. Not believing it at first, Paula soon kneels to see she's not lying. In a short while, the baby is born. Meanwhile, Sarah delivers drinks to the 3 nuns who placed Mother inside the coffin. Having put rat poison into the drinks, the nuns start falling. Back to Mary's struggle, Paula starts walking with her baby, making Mary plead for her not to take it away. Sarah also experiences hardship, because one nun survived the poison by perhaps not drinking it. So she starts attacking the last surviving girl in the convent. We see the 2 struggles of the girls, Sarah and Mary, happening simultaneously. Mary starts choking Paula to get her baby back. Sarah wins her battle, followed quickly by Mary's victory. She is now safe with her newborn. After all this, we see Mother suffering in the coffin as she yells out in anger. The last word we hear her scream is, "Agatha." The final scene has the police arriving to enter the building. One of them makes it to the coffin room to open it. It's uncertain whether he saved Mother or if he came too late.